So today we're just going to do a little day in the life of my first official day. Here all day with no car, and just what I'm going to do today as I continue to make this my home, and just feel, although it actually already does feel like my home, which is so bizarre, but like, more like I'm on vacation, and so I'm kind of trying to get into the more homey feel. But so I'll show you guys where I work out, where I'm gonna start working out. Let me not even pretend like I've been working out. And I've really been craving some English muffins. I had got English muffins when I got out here, when I got my apartment, and then went to make them and realized I didn't have a toaster. So then I got a toaster yesterday. So now I made my English muffins. I'm making an egg. I just made some vanilla Komodo tea, is that how you say it? And put a little bit of my almond milk sweet creamer in there. So yeah, I'm just gonna have my breakfast, and I kind of hung out later than usual this morning. Just enjoying the day, enjoying my time. Always start the day off with God, some time in the Word, some time with Him, and before I get into work and all that other kind of stuff, He comes first. So yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, do a day in the life of my new life. So stick around. It is so important to get every day off to a great start. Always start with time with God, in His Word, and in prayer. But making the bed is also something that I try to do every day. The days that I don't do this are usually my off days or my bad days. If I'm not up to accomplishing this little task, it's usually telling me a lot about the tone I'm setting for that day. I know it may sound silly, but making your bed gives you a sense of accomplishment, order, and a momentum to start off your day. And later, when I return to my room, it gives me a peace and a calmness. It allows me to just relax and unwind, instead of just seeing something else that I need to get done. And honestly, doing it consistently builds a habit of care for your space, time, and yourself. It's a small act of discipline, but it spreads over into the bigger things that you're going to need to accomplish. Now, trying to pick out something to wear for the day, I'm realizing that I really don't have that many options. I only brought 2 suitcases of clothes, so I am going to do the best I can, because I still need to make sure, even when I'm not going anywhere, that I'm feeling the best about myself when I look into a mirror. It's not about everybody else all the time. So through the magic of editing, I'm now dressed. And yes, I'm aware that that was corny, but it's still very important that I coordinate. You got to coordinate. All right, let's start getting down to the nitty-gritty. Since I have been transparent with all of you the entire way, as much as possible, today is no exception. I had a visitor last night. Let's just say if I were in biblical times, I would need to go and sit in the red tent with other ladies for a while. So of course now I'm wondering, was this all just the world's worst PMS? I mean, that's a really scary thought. However, if we revisit some historical and scientific evidence, we would see that this is something more. For a quick history recap for anybody new to my channel, I had such a childhood that was riddled with abuse that when a 23-year-old man began assaulting me at the age of 12, I thought that it was normal. After all, I started getting this kind of attention at the age of 3. Not all of my trauma was of a sexual nature, but those seem to have the biggest impact on me and my life choices the most, looking back. By 15, I was already a mom. By 18, I was married with 2 kids and had one on the way. That marriage ended with a restraining order for him to stay away from me and his daughter. My second marriage also ended in abuse. And then we factor in the children. One of them was premature from birth and was delivered via a C-section, which was given without any anesthesia, as the doctors didn't believe me when I told them that I can feel what they were doing. I just didn't even matter. And another one of those children needed several surgeries before she was 1 year old. And all of this was happening prior to the age of 20. By the time the youngest had cancer, I didn't think there was anything in the world that could hurt as bad as my childhood. But seeing my baby suffer and dying, there was nothing that I had ever gone through that would compare to that pain and just an overall sense of helplessness. Shortly after was when I lost my church, my support system, and many of my close friends. And some of that was because I just ran away from all of it and my borderline was out of control. Once I fought my way back into remission is when I started this channel. So if you want to know more about that period of time in my life, you could go back to some of the older videos. I don't want anyone to think that I'm just using borderline as an excuse to behave badly and just do whatever I want to. That has never been the case. Since I was diagnosed at the age of, I think, maybe 25 or 6, I've been trying to do everything to get myself to be the best person I could for my kids, for my husband. I have done therapy, I've done TMS, I've tried the Stella ganglion block. I think I did that 3 different times. I did the EMDR treatments, and I actually still actively participate in those with my therapist. I've tried medication. I've done cognitive behavioral therapy journals and books. And finally, as you guys know, I have done neurofeedback, which has been the most successful by far. However, the one thing that all of those treatments have in common is that they say you need to remove yourself from any environments that will re-trigger you while your brain is trying to heal. You're supposed to try to avoid another trauma. That has never been an option for me in my life. I have been in trauma of some sort since the age of 3 years old. And even while I was in the TMS treatment, so many things happened that the doctor said the fact that you're still holding it together and showing up is all I could ask of you, because you're going through more than any patient that we've treated. Now, I am not trying to brag about me having the most traumas. That is not in any way what I'm doing. But I'm trying to explain how this last trauma actually threw my body back into fight or flight mode. Now, when your body goes into fight or flight mode, your body is reacting to a threat. And it's a very powerful and automatic survival response. It's controlled by your sympathetic nervous system. So you are now flooded with adrenaline. Your cortisol keeps you at a heightened state of alert. Rational thinking takes a back seat. So if you are there way too often, like I am and have been, you lose sleep, anxiety, fatigue, you have indigestion issues, which is why I have chronic fatigue and UC and fibromyalgia, along with other illnesses. My body had been in this state for 3 straight days when I made these decisions, and 5 straight days by the time I left. Mix that together with borderline, fight or flight mode, PMS, and menopause. It's just all starting to make sense. Still, little things can trigger me, but I am in and out of flight mode way less, and I have left the major trigger, and I know it was ultimately what needed to be done. But I miss my husband. I miss him to death. I really hate that he is hurting. I thought the worst thing about my borderline was how much it hurts me, but I was wrong. It is about how much it causes me to hurt those who I love and those who love me. And even though I know we're going to be okay, I just miss him.